So I think the girls talked about this question, but we need to ask a guy this question. Is once a cheater, always a cheater?
Damn. That's quite a head scratcher. I'm gonna go with no. Me personally, it's like maybe there's something in your relationship that you're not getting, or maybe you're just like really insecure. A lot of time when I hear about like people cheating, I feel like it's more of a reflection on yourself than like the person you might be with, you know? And I feel like if you got into a relationship where you're like, I'm perfectly happy, then like you're wondering like, why would I need to cheat? I don't know, cheating doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
But when you're saying it's a reflection of yourself, that's me saying that it's not a reflection of the environment. So you'll cheat here and you'll cheat there.
Holy, I didn't.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I might have got myself in
Okay, so if you never, let's say like you're cheating because you're insecure, unless you work on those insecurities, like
you'll cheat again.
Cheating.
Whether
like,
you're in
feel
a happy
good,
relationship or not, you know?
But I've heard sometimes like a guy the right girl will change his ways, like he won't cheat for the right girl.
I don't think so. I don't think it, well.
It's not like, yeah.
Actually, maybe you're kind of right in that it's like something in you, but I feel like you can change. Like if
what makes you change?
What makes you change? Well, first of all, you gotta have like the mental like capacity to realize, hey, what I did is like wrong. Like in general, like cheating is just like wrong. Like at that point, me personally, I say this all the time. If you feel the need to like cheat on your girl,
just break up.
Just break up.
Just break up.
Like I'm sorry, if I'm in the club and like my girlfriend's at home and I see this girl where I'm like, oh, like I really want to sleep with her, I want to be with her, all of this, then at that point, like you gotta realize in your head, maybe this relationship ain't right for me, or maybe I'm not ready for this relationship. And at that point, I pick up my phone, call my girl.
Yep.
You know, you probably do it better in person, but if you're really in
if you got to do it in the moment,
that's what I say. That's what I call her, and I'm like, hey, you cool and all, but we breaking up. And then,
hey,
go be with the other girl in a free conscience.
Literally,
I
the same day.
It's not the best thing to do, but it's a lot better than like cheating on somebody.
As a girl, I'd rather get a phone call like that than find out some other way that I got cheated on. Yeah, I'd rather. Okay.
But there's a statistic. It's like if you cheated once, you're 50% more likely to cheat again.
I feel like
it's kind of like drugs. Yeah, if you've done it once, like you're more likely to do it.
I think like the moral, like whatever the freaking moral like standard that you have to like break is like broken once.
That's fair. But
I don't
like,
know what the analogy is.
You know what? Maybe not once a cheater, always a cheater, but once a cheater, like most likely to be a cheater again.
So can you forgive it?
I feel like you can change. You can change. Can you like forgive cheating?
Would you stay with someone who has cheated on you?
Who has cheated on me? Oh, man.
And they've apologized. They know it's wrong.
Like, I'll never do it again.
Because there are people, and you're talking about like, oh, in a club and like just break up.
So
in the people in marriages.
You shouldn't be thinking about screwing other people in the club. Like in the club, if your man or girl, whatever, is not there, you should be thinking like, oh, I wish they were here. Yeah. So to me, if you're not even thinking about that, you need to question some things.
It's like, I'm gonna be honest, I might forgive her once. That's all, cause like I believe that people like you can make mistakes, but I feel like even if I forgave her once, the chances of that relationship working out have already diminished like a lot.
Yeah.
Cause then like you like that also gives you trust issues, which is gonna create another problem. Yeah. Cause it's like now you're thinking anytime she's like, oh, I want to go out with my girls or I want to do this, and you're not there. You're at home like thinking to yourself, oh my God, what she's cheating on me, and then like you start to be. Even if she's not going to cheat on you again, you start to exhibit behaviors that are going to push her away. Like you'll be like, no, you have to stay home. Like, where were you? Let me go through your phone. And like nobody really wants that on them. And it's like at that point, I feel like the chances of the relationship succeeding have already like dropped dramatically.
I agree.
But I also think like we're thinking of like, oh, just break up with them. Like what? Like you're saying, oh, if you wanted to hook up with someone else, just break up with them. It's that simple. What I'm thinking is like there are people who have like 3 kids, like a marriage, a mortgage, a house. Like they can't just be like, yo, I'm out.
Daddy's
out. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like
You're right. I didn't even think of that. That'd be crazy to call home.
Hey.
Like, hey, tell Timmy I'm sorry and all that, but hey, shoot, tell Timmy I saw Baddie at the club today. It is what it is. He'll understand.
I think I would like laugh. I don't think I would cry. I think I would just laugh first, and then it would kick in.
But I mean, like in general, you can't just be like, yeah, I like this other woman at work. Like, let me just leave my whole entire kids, my family, my mortgage, my everything. Like,
I mean, you're cheating. You're already ruining all that.
Anyway, I think you can get away with it, right? That's why. So that's the easy.
The chances of you getting away with it are just not good. And second, more like, I think it's a big moral thing because like, how do you feel like after cheating on your wife, going home and she's like, oh, like, I love you, babe, and like you're looking at your kid who's like, oh, my dad's such a great role model, knowing that you just blew Becky from HR's back out, like that's crazy to me.
HR.
That's crazy.
That's why I feel because
like I think that would weigh on my brain so much to the point where I just like, how do you enjoy life?
That's my biggest thing with
A lot of
cheaters.
time you're not going home to a happy wife.
I'm just like, how are you so comfortable lying? That is like the biggest thing for me. Like, how are you so comfortable lying to me for months? Lying to me for months.
Oh no.
Guilty conscience.
Guilty. Yeah, you're just sleeping like a baby. Oh my god, you don't even have neighbors.
I feel like if you're in that situation where you're like, and you're like married or whatever, and you're like, oh, like I really like this girl. I want to be with this girl. It's like you got to do stuff consciously to remind. Like marriage is like a commitment. You know, when you're there and you're saying those words, and like your word has to mean something to you. When you're like up there and you're like I do, death do us part, all that traditional stuff or whatever. It's like you gotta like have enough respect for your wife and respect for yourself to be like, I'm gonna take myself out of this situation. Like if it's like, hey, there's just one coworker who we always have to do projects together, and like it's getting a little too far. You gotta have that like respect and like remember your commitment to be like, hey, boss, like, is there any chance I could work with somebody else? Like, this is very you gotta like remove yourself from the situation. Because I think a lot of the time where you end up in situations where you cheat, like you overestimate yourself and you think you're not gonna get caught. So like it's like a lot of the time you're like, oh, I can keep working with her, like it's harmless fun, like it's gonna be all good. But it's all good until that one day you're like, Becky's like, let's take some tequila shots. You take one too many, and then oh my god, little Timmy's without a father.
Yeah, you're always. I think like throughout life, you're always gonna find yourself in situations where you could cheat. Just always interacting and meeting different people.
You could literally go to Tim Hortons right now.
And there's so many attractive people in the world, right? So it's like you just need to know. You need to be able to know when it's getting to that point, and like when to remove yourself. I think.
But sometimes you don't want to. That sometimes you literally want to cheat. Like you're not.
That's what marriage is. You committed to having self-control.
There's a lot of stuff that you want to do when you don't do them.
Yeah.
Like let's say. No, that's a crazy one. But maybe you've had, maybe you've had heroin once. You remember how nice it feels. Like, and then you don't want to be a drug addict. You're gonna be like, nah, I'm not gonna do heroin. You're not gonna go to a crack den and be like, I'm gonna be cool. Like, I'm not gonna do any. You're not gonna like hang in that environment.
Yeah, take yourself out of it.
You're gonna be like, because there's a lot of things like as humans, like, don't you ever have like intrusive thoughts where you're like, it's a crazy thing to even think. Like, why would I do that? But you have enough self-control to be like, nah, that's wild to do. Let's not do it. You know?
I do feel like the three of us are speaking on it, even though we've never been in the situation. And I feel like if you're actually in it, maybe it is harder.
What, cheating or
like on? Being in that situation, let's say like where you want to cheat and you're tempted, or like you're in a relationship and you've cheated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like we're saying like, oh, you should have a moral compass. You should be able to remove yourself. But I feel like the amount of people that end up cheating, it must not be that easy.
That's what I'm saying. It's like. Me and my friends personally, like I've never been in a relationship where I was like, oh, like I want to cheat.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I haven't either actually.
Oh no.
I've never wanted to cheat.
We've also never been in relationships for 20 plus years.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't understand that like after 20 years you're probably like.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe it's different. Let's pray we never get to that point where we're like, hey,
knock on wood.
Come back to the podcast. We like got the beard on.
Okay. 2 years later.
Yeah, I got different things to say. I just cheated on my wife, and let me say I was wrong before.
Damn, I'm working just like that.
I was in a situation though where like I was with someone and they didn't cheat on me, but they had cheated in their past relationship.
And how do you feel about that?
That's what I like. It's hard because it's like, okay, it wasn't me. No one cheated on me, and I'm like getting over it. I didn't go through this. But is once a cheater, always a cheater?
I think you also gotta like gauge their response. First of all, if they tell you themselves, like, hey, I did this in the past, I'm not proud of it, and like they own up to it, you're getting more points from me that way than if I find out through somebody else. They're like, oh, did you know like so and so like cheated on?
Yeah, you have to like ask, or you're finding out from someone else, then.
And it's like you gauge the response. If you can see like genuine remorse and they're like, I was a different person back then, like I feel so bad, I try my best to make up for it, and like I'm a changed person, like I went through this, and like this is how I am now, then I feel like I'd have no problem, like, because relationships are built on trust, so I gotta trust them at that word that like they feel different about it. But if it's like, if like it's a red flag if he's telling you and he's like, oh, like I cheated on my girl, but that's because like she wasn't doing this for me. Because then you at that point when I hear that, I think like they don't realize that they've done something wrong.
They're not owning up to
like
it.
they're putting the blame on somebody else. They're like she made me cheat, which is a crazy sentence.
That sounds so dumb.
Yeah, no, but it definitely does break like lower trust.
It does.
Even though they didn't cheat on you, like just knowing that person, like it'll put a little bit of like a alert, like you know what I'm saying. You'll be more vigilant.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is what I felt.
Because I've even been told like by guys for like I cheated in the past, but like with you it's different, and you're just thinking like you said that so casually.
Yeah, if you say it casually, that I'm also very alarmed. I'm like, dude.
I'm like, excuse me. Like,
because then I'm starting to think like what really makes it so different.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, you're in a committed relationship with me. You were in one with them. Like, I'm so. I think I'm a great person and all, but I don't think I'm like that much better than somebody else. Where I'm like, no, he never did.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Like you're just basing it off of what they told
That's
you.
what
Who knows? They could have been an amazing girl.
Could have been incredible.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's definitely hard. Like in that situation too. Like just hearing anybody cheats.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of like a.
You're gonna remember like.
Moral of the story: if you haven't cheated, don't do it. And if you have, and you gotta own up, and you gotta like think about why you did and try and change that.
Yeah.